Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to another spectacular, educational, informative, relevant. What am I leaving out, Steph? That's about it. Edition of Pick Your Politics. I'm Dennis Silvers, along with my terrific co-host Stephanie Phillips, and we have a very interesting guest for you today. And we've talked about the importance of the people on the Clark County Commission because they serve a very important role here in Clark County.
They do. A lot of things that happen in our community. They certify the elections.
Yeah.
Things like there's all kinds of things that they're responsible for.
And they work, of course, not hand in hand, but they work very closely with the Las Vegas City Council to get things done here in Clark County. And we have a gentleman on today that is running for a position on the commission, on the Clark County Commission, that we're going to talk to today. Let me tell you, Billy Mitchell is in fact a candidate for Clark County Commissioner in District G, and we'll have him tell you exactly where that is. That is a position that's currently held by the chairman of the Clark County Commission, right. Jim Gibson. Billy is a lifelong Nevadan who is also a Navy veteran. And you know what? I'm going to let him tell us a little bit more about him. So let's bring Billy Mitchell up on camera and welcome him onto the show. Billy, thanks for taking time out and coming on Pick Your Politics. I just mentioned a little bit, but why don't you give our viewers a little bit about your background?
Well, thank you guys for having me on your show. I am a Navy veteran. I served on 3 nuclear submarines and worked with the SEAL teams.
Wow.
I served during 2 wars, and to be blunt, I didn't sign up and defend 2 wars for this crap that's going on in America right now. So, I decided in January, I went and saw my opponent speak at a event at Nevada State College. And I said, you know what, I got to step up. I got to do something. I can't just sit on the sidelines and watch everything go to crap. So here we are. We got, a couple weeks until the ballots go out, October 22nd, when the early voting starts. And voting starts November 8th. It's getting exciting. I'm an ex-football coach. I coached at Coronado High School. I also taught and coached at Bridger Middle School, where I taught robotics. I built the Fountains of Bellagio. I built the T-Mobile. I built a whole bunch of projects in California. I'm an engineer. I'm now a program manager. I worked with the Department of Defense, building assets for them out at the NTTR, which is the official name now for the test site.
Wow.
So I've done a lot of things. I've been very blessed. I got a great family. This is a family campaign. I don't take any money from any corporations. All my donors are private. And with that said, I mean, when people donate, $100 goes a long way. My daughter prints the cards, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the support, because it's really got to me as far as an American, how much people have got behind me in the grassroots about making a difference in our county.
And you've got to get in any race. I don't care what you do, and with the idea of making a difference. I think, Billy, quite honestly and quite bluntly, the best qualification you have to become a county commissioner was you were elected as student body president in high school. I think that goes a long way.
Well, I was. I'm a wildcat. I graduated from Las Vegas High School, downtown Las Vegas High School. I also went to Aereo Technical Trade Center in North Las Vegas when it was there. And I'm a very pro what they call CTE, which is Career and Technical Ed. I think that's an issue that we need to put more money and more emphasis on in Clark County with the school district. I'd like to facilitate that any way I can as county commissioner to help bring that back. I think we got off path when they started taking federal money and letting them dictate the standards at state level because they were getting federal money.
Yeah. Stephanie and I agree that education is everything. It starts with education. It's like building a house, with different layers. We have a lot of problems with the school district here in Clark County, multitudinous problems, and you could talk about it for a whole show. But as a county commissioner, what do you think is the biggest problem with the school district? And briefly, what would you do to help change it to make it better?
It's too big. It's too big. It's unmanageable. There's no accountability. They've taken out all the accountability and just laid it on the principals, who are actually just teachers. They got promoted over the years. They need to break it up. It's like the fire department, police department here in Henderson and Boulder City. We have the infrastructure available. We could do our own school district. I represent Henderson, Boulder City, and and Green Valley. Being a teacher at Coronado for years and coaching football there, I saw firsthand, it's very, very hard to even deal with the district and get the resources that you need to even teach, let alone get the support from an administrative level.
Yeah.
So tell us what kind of duties the commissioners have. What kind of things do you vote on? I know one of them would be the election, certifying the elections. And had you been a commissioner during the primary election, and you heard all of the pushback and all of the witnesses and people that came forward to talk about their experiences of watching, some shenanigans, we'll call it, during the primaries, what would you have done different than your opponent had you been on the commission at that time?
Okay, so we know that these machines are compromised that the Clark County is using. They originally were owned by DeBolt, and then this other company took them over. The reason why DeBolt sold them was because they knew that there was an issue. We also know from my DoD background that the only way you're going to keep these things from being compromised is put them on an exclusive network, similar to what the DoD does with a red network, what they call red network. So they need to get rid of them. There's no reason for it. The absentee ballots or mail-in ballots, that was kind of a scam that they pulled off. As you heard the president say the other day, that COVID doesn't exist. I don't know why we're doing
Pandemic's over.
Yeah.
It sets up for so much, corruption. We need to go back to, actually maybe have a holiday for, voting day, like a lot of other countries do.
There you go.
And let everybody vote, and you need to have ID. You have to have accountability in your voting system. Otherwise, you have foreign interest, and then it just sets it up for all kinds of corruption. But that's the only way you're going to get rid of it. The guy who's in charge at the county level, Gloria, I was there the first time, and he walked up and asked for another $300,000. And they wrote the check right there in the meeting. I mean, it blew my mind, knowing what I know about the government.
Wow.
And the county commissioner just said, yeah, we need to get him a check right now.
Wow.
So the biggest thing I would say, as far as if I'm elected, like I told veterans of politics, we need to audit. We need to audit. We need to start holding people accountable for the tax dollars that they're actually spending.
Is that something, as a commissioner, is that something that you guys kind of control, or that you guys can vote on or do anything with?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I've been to 3 different meetings now, and all 3 meetings, they're giving blank paychecks to either the Water Authority, to Gloria, and then other programs. They don't even put it out to competitive bid. Even with the, say the garbage company, the garbage company wanted a new contract. They said, oh, presto changeo, you get a new contract. That is not how government's supposed to work. DoD stopped doing that because of all the corruption. What they should be doing is competitive bids, and then you do a best cost value analysis, and then you do recommendations to the commission, and then at that point there's a decision that's made. But as we know, we have 7 Democrats, or dirty Democrats, sitting on the commission, and they're paying their constituents that are laundering money back through contractors and everything else. So the only way you're going to get rid of it is do a competitive bid. If you bring in an auditing company that's a third party that has no interest, and actually go in and start auditing where all this money's going, because it's not their money, it's our money.
Right.
We're Clark County residents, and they need to be accountable for that, and then it needs to be posted online where everything's going.
Yeah.
And how that that works.
And with all that money going out the door, there's, the lawsuit against Clark County and with Red Rock and Jim Rhodes and the gypsum mine, that whole deal. If they're successful in that and they have a multi-million-dollar judgment against the county, the taxpayers are on the hook
Are
for
on the
that.
hook
Is
for it,
that
right?
right? So how's that going to work if the county has to pay millions and millions of dollars because of
Okay,
that?
so I go back to Sisolak when he sat on the commission and he sued the county for $16 million. That's where he got the money to run for governor, okay, over the land grab that they did for the airport that they later, named Harry Reid, which wasn't supposed to cost the taxpayers a dime, and now it's costing us $3 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just dirty up the deal. And so you brought up Jim Rhodes. Okay, I went back and did a whole bunch of due diligence on this. It's a $3 billion lawsuit that's in federal court. And since I addressed the commission and made it public at the last hearing this month, they finally got their court date, which is 2 weeks before the 22nd. So it's going to be interesting. It was pay to play. They did some deals, shady deals, while Sisolak sat in the chair for county commission before he was governor. And Justin Jones was actually running for county commissioner while he was representing this group, Red Rock.
Right.
So it's a bad deal. If it goes through, I don't know how the county's going to survive. They're going to probably have to file bankruptcy.
That's a lot of money. That is
a lot, and that's going to affect us.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Billy. There's got to be RFPs that are sent out, to kind of balance the equation, see, what an honest bid is, see what they can do. There's got to be some competition, and that's what makes things better. Overall for everybody, but just to give it to this one or that one because you've done business with them in the past, or, heaven knows you're getting some money kickback or, heaven forbid. And it just seems there's got to be some equal representation, Billy, on the commission. And
Yeah.
what, all Democrats? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The Republican side isn't represented? Come on, Billy. We need to change that.
It's been 14 years since we had a Republican on the commission, and last time we had one on the commission, 4 of them went to prison. So it's going on now. You look at Gibson when he was the mayor of Henderson.
Yeah.
He pulled this crap, and he left the city of Henderson with a $90 million debt that the next
Right.
mayor had to come in and cut his staff almost 50% just to balance his budget, and it took him almost 4 years to get behind it. So this is nothing new. This is almost like the who's who of dirty Democrats in Clark County that are sitting on the board right now.
Yeah, I was
So
going to ask you about that because what is he going to leave? Should you be elected? What's he going to leave for the Clark County Commission
clean
here?
up?
Yeah. What
Yeah,
kind of
so-
deficit there?
So this is his last hurrah. He's 74 years old. He's made it perfectly clear he turns out if he's reelected. And you can bet he's ready to retire. His family wants him to retire.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? He's got no accountability. He's going to go through and start rewarding, all of his contractors, all his constituents that donated money. He's sitting on over $1 million worth of campaign money for a part-time job that pays $90,000 a year. Okay, right there, everybody should be going red flag. You know what I mean? It's like it gets so dirty, it's ridiculous. And then you look at the money that Justin Jones is spending right now against Drew Johnson or Drew. Goodness.
Yeah, Drew
Sorry.
Johnson.
Yeah, Drew
You got
Johnson.
it right.
Drew Johnson. You just sit there and go, wow, this is getting really, really dirty. It's getting heated up. But all Drew's trying to do is shine light on the cockroaches and watch them run. And basically, that's what I'm doing. I'm shining the light. I'm not making anything up. I'm doing a lot of stuff. My daughters are helping me with social media, and they're posting video clips to show, we're not making this stuff up. It's not political. I am not a politician. I'm an engineer. So for me, it's all about facts, and it's about saving our county. I don't want to be president of the United States. Trust me, there's no way. I'm just trying to fix our home and try and fix what's already screwed up so that my grandkids have a great place to live and hopefully, carry on my line.
Yeah.
Billy, being the president pays a hell of a lot more money, though. We got to remember that.
It's not worth it, man. I I saw what the media did, and, foreign interest, and I'm just not that good at doing that. I mean, I have good intentions, and I honestly, I just think I'm too transparent. I have no filter right here. It's like I tell people what's going on, and anybody who knows me knows either you like me or you don't. But at the end of the day, you know what you're getting.
Yeah,
So,
no, that says a lot. Do you attend any of the city council meetings and offer your opinion on things that they do as well?
So I've gone to a couple of the city council events here in Henderson. Since COVID got over, they've only had a few of them. We got a new mayor. I met her on
Right.
Sunday at a veterans event fundraiser that I did for veterans that are adopt a veteran that for getting your teeth fixed and such. So yeah, I try and get involved with that. I've went to now 3 county commission meetings since COVID. I even went in and I was the one who put them on the spot and started, if you go back and look, about opening up the county. I said, you guys need to open up the county. The CDC, John Hopkins, everybody said the mandates are not working. The masks don't work. All you're doing is killing, our small business. And I'm a small businessman. And now we know that 40% of small businesses never came back. 20%, even more alarming, over 20% of our students have not gone back to school yet. So it's a bad problem. We need to get back to what makes America great. And like I said, I didn't fight 2 wars for this shit.
Yeah.
So if I need to come out and I need to do more in the community, I'm here. Anybody can call me out and I'm there. I mean, if I got time, whether it's bringing one of my race cars, which I'm doing Friday and Saturday on Water Street, supporting their program, supporting the small business group off Water Street. So I invite everybody to come down to that because I'll have one of my race cars there and everybody's invited to sit in the car.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I watched some of those county commission meetings, and it's amazing how so many people can show up and voice their opposition,
Right.
especially when they were doing the masks and the mandates and the businesses like you were talking about, Billy, and also the primary election. And hundreds of people show up and they offer, their opposition and their concerns and all this stuff. And it doesn't seem like the commission listens to a word they say because they go
talking to the
ahead.
wall.
It is. They certified that election. They continue to do what they're going to do and absolutely give no bearing to what these people and the people of Clark County have to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the big picture, okay? All right, and this gets real serious because it is very serious. You got 5 governors that did a pact. They didn't even hide it. You got California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, and Colorado. They all got together. They're all Democrats, and they gave their allegiance and said whatever California does, they're going to do. So that's what Sisolak did. 7 of the counties here in Nevada actually pushed back against Sisolak and said, hey, we're not going to do all this crap. Clark County did not because the 7 commissioners are all Democrats, so they did what they were told. The guy that I'm running against, Gibson, he comes across and he tells everybody that he's a conservative Democrat. Bullshit. Okay, if you look at his record and you see how he actually votes, okay, he votes right along party lines. I can guarantee you guys, straight up, I'm a Republican, but I am not a hard party line guy. I'm an American first. This is my home, and I'm only going to do what's best for my neighbors
Right.
and for my county and for my home.
Right. Billy, when you've walked the neighborhood and you're knocking on doors and you're talking to people in your district, what's been the biggest concern, or is there any commonality of distress that they are feeling, whether it be, and Steph and I have talked about this, economy, public safety, more police, whatever. What are you hearing?
So yeah, you guys got it right. The big thing is inflation, right? County could come out tomorrow, just like what they're doing in other states where they're really, really bad. Okay, they could come back and start easing taxes and start doing programs to actually lower the costs to the Americans and to our Clark County residents, so that inflation, or it's not inflation, it's a recession. Let's just take it for what it is. It's the definition. If you look at our GDP and everything that's going on. They're trying to pad the numbers.
Right.
You see, we got people on unemployment that haven't received their unemployment in over a year because they're
Wow.
wanting to pad the numbers till after the election.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a big game that they're playing right now, and it's almost like we're in a relationship with a narcissistic because of all the gaslighting that's going on. They're just flat out lying, and then their latest scam is the whole thing about abortion and everything, which isn't even illegal here in Nevada.
Right.
Okay, but all they're trying to do is trigger people to try and get them to come out and vote for them.
Right.
And they're just flat out lying to people about, Sisolak has no control over any of that. It's in our Constitution already. So it has to go through our Senate and, the people that make the laws. But most people don't understand that because, you go back to education, they're not educated right in high school. You were supposed to have government, U.S. government, and local Nevada government. It doesn't happen in high school like it used to. So we need to start educating people on the three branches of government and the state because the states really do have the power. They have the power to push back. You look at states that weren't Democratic run, they're not having the problems that we're having.
Right.
Okay, so we need to step up. We need to take, regardless of what party you belong to, we need to step up and take our damn state back and tell, foreign interest in the federal government to take a hike. It's like they're ruining our state. We got foreign governments buying all of our property. You look at the strip right now, it's who owns it all? It's all BlackRock. Well, who owns BlackRock? Okay, I'm not going to go down this conspiracy all the way down, but you guys can do your due diligence and find out who owns BlackRock and who owns, the other investment company that just filed bankruptcy last week. Goodness gracious, I got a mind fart. But anyways, there's two major companies that are being funded by foreign interest groups, and they're just buying up America. So, as far as county goes, county is where the rubber meets the road. This is where everything goes through the county. The county has to approve it.
Yep.
My opponent is saying, I wasn't for mandates. The county didn't do any mandates. That is straight up
That's
bullshit.
a lie. Yeah.
He was on record, and they voted remotely to impose mandates on all county employees, including their police departments, who are now understaffed. That's why our actual crime rate's going through the roof, let alone we've opened up the borders and now all the criminals are coming across the border along with illegal drugs and fentanyl that are killing all our youth.
Right.
We need to wake up. We need to take our country back, and we need to stop the crap. Stop being triggered, and let's get some people in here that are not career politicians that actually care about the country and that are going to do the right thing for your family and for your county.
Right. I don't think people realize they see a name that's familiar to them.
Yep.
They know they've been in politics for a while, and people just seem to check on the ballot.
Yeah.
I don't know if people realize your opponent was part of the PepCon plant way back. What was that? 1988.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
May 4th, 1988. I was here. I remember it. Most people that were here remember it.
Yeah.
So it killed several people and it injured hundreds. That was on the spot. We're not even talking the people that died later. It did over $100 million worth of damage. Who owned PepCon? It was Jim Davis's father and his uncle, and Jim Davis was their legal counsel. So instead of taking accountability, what did they do? They dissolved the corporation and reopened it in Henderson right now. It's open under another name, and then they moved the plant to Cedar City, where they were actually allowed to open it up, and they've had safety violations there. It was not an accident.
Right.
They knew what was going on. They were storing this stuff in aluminum and plastic barrels, which actually helped create it because the plastic was a binder, and the aluminum actually creates the Delta class fire that actually comes on. So it doesn't need oxygen to burn. That's why it's rocket fuel, right?
Right.
So that's what happened when it blew up. When they first started, they said, there's a gas line that started it underneath. Well, the History Channel, if you go to my social media, I gave links to it, did this big investigation for 2 years, and it's one of the top 5 engineering disasters in the world.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Look at it and go, well, who's responsible? Jim Gibson and his family is. How did we reward him? We made him mayor of Henderson.
Yeah.
And
Now
he's
you said
commissioner.
before it was Jim Davis was the owner,
Yeah.
but you mean Jim Gibson,
Gibson.
right?
Jim Gibson. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I
Okay.
have a friend named Jim Davis. Sorry
Okay.
about
Yeah,
that. Sorry,
yeah.
Jim Davis. But, yeah.
How are you getting your message out? I know that obviously, like all candidates, you're knocking on doors, you're going to events, but what's your primary source of delivering your message?
Social media.
Social media.
It's a game changer. We don't have a lot of money. I'm not sitting on $1 million on my campaign. You know, like I said before, all my campaign is all funded by private donors. That's you and me and everybody who lives in this community. You go to social media, billymitchell.info. You can click on there. It gives you to all the pages, you know, on all three of our social media sites. My daughters are running those. They're doing a great job. And then I'm getting tons of support from groups like Boulder City. These ladies up in Boulder City have adopted me now. I mean, it's just amazing. They gave me a quilt last week. I met with them Sunday, and I met with them yesterday, actually. This Sunday, you know, I told them, I said, I don't even have signs to give people to put in their yards. So one of the ladies said, you know what? I have a whole bunch of signs that I've had for years. Why don't we have a painting party on Sunday and we'll make you signs so you can hand them out?
That's great.
What's happening at 2:00 on Sunday. If anybody wants to come enjoy a painting party, I'm buying pizza and I'm buying beverages, and we're going to have a painting party so we have signs that we can hand out to people and put in their lawns.
That's
That is
awesome.
great. If you make some of the pizzas pepperoni, we may show up.
He'll always
that's-
show up for food.
Yeah. That is awesome, Bill.
Yeah, you got to get creative.
Yeah.
And when you want to try and save money, that's a good way to do it when people
Yeah.
get involved.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, you know, we all know the water situation in our valley,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's at
yeah.
crisis levels. So in order to keep the city growing and issuing building permits and things like that and keep things moving, but also be considerate of our water situation, how do you see yourself weighing in on those types of issues, and how would you vote, do you think, on that kind of thing?
Okay, so these are the facts that a lot of people don't understand because the media, you know, is kind of clouding the view on there. Okay, so you have 7 states right now that are pulling water out of the Colorado River that feeds Lake Mead. We have a brand new straw in Lake Mead that is below what they call dead pool level, which is a 2B level. Okay, we're at 2A now, which means in the agreement with the 7 states, all 7 states were supposed to come together and come up with a plan to reduce water. Everybody showed up with the exception of California. And the reason being is because California is taking well over their allotment of water. And that is the reason. It isn't global warming. If you look at Lake Tahoe, it's not low. And it all comes from that same area. So you look at, well, where's all the water going? It's going to California. And why aren't we being more vocal? We got Jim Gibson that's sitting in the chair as the water authority. Okay, well, because he's got that coalition with the Democrats, and the Democrats are in California too. And they're in trouble right now. So what do we do about it? This is what we need to do about it. The Water Authority came out a couple weeks ago, and they showed how much water we're using in southern Nevada, and it's actually lower than what we used 10 years ago. Okay, and we have, 3 times the population now?
Yeah. Wow.
So it's not us. So for them to come out and say, well, we're going to take away your pool, we're going to take away your lawn, it's going to do little or nothing to save Lake Mead. Okay, you're talking less than 0.01%. Joey Gilbert talked about this, and he was right on cue. He had all the facts on this, which got me going down the rabbit hole. So what we need to do, we need to get somebody in the Water Authority that's going to speak up. Again, shine that light on the cockroaches and start holding the politicians accountable for what they're doing. Do we have any authority over the Basin Coalition that's actually controlling it? No. But we know that if the federal government does get involved, because we're shining the light on them, they're going to start holding California accountable and start. And the sad part is California 10 years ago put a ballot on there, and they said, hey, we know we had a problem. We're going to build desalination plants.
Yeah.
We're going to do reclaiming plants.
Yeah.
And they've been paying for it, but they never use the money. They don't have the money.
That's exactly right. No, that you make a
January 19th with Jim Gibson, and this is a big thing because this is what got me going and made me throw my hat in the ring. On the 19th, Jim Gibson stood up there and said that he wants to fund, with taxpayer Clark County money, a $3.2 billion water treatment plant in Los Angeles and then pipe water back to Nevada. This isn't even water we can drink. Then they want to charge us for the water on top of it.
Yeah.
It's gray
wow.
water we can't even drink.
Yeah.
So it's okay. This story is just getting sorry,
Yeah.
I'm- because I'm
People,
getting so
Yeah,
people don't know this. People don't hear this stuff. They don't know
and
this stuff.
I know, and that's why you got to get your message out. Unfortunately, we are out of time, Billy. We're going to have you back again for everybody. Put out your how are they going to get in touch with you if they want to help you? They want to make a donation. What's the best way to do it?
Oh, I'd really appreciate it. I can tell you, $100, $20 goes a long way in our campaign for buying, walking cards and everything else that we need.
Okay.
If anybody can help out, I'd really appreciate it. You're going to get a thank you. If you go to billymitchell.info,
Okay.
It actually has my cell number there. If you have ideas or you have concerns,
Okay.
like I said, I'm an engineer. I'm about collecting all the data as a
Yeah.
head football coach. It's about getting everything together,
Right.
and then coming up with the best decision for our home.
There you go.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Well, I know that you had a quilt knitted for you. Stephanie just told me she's going to knit you a pair of socks. So
I don't know how those are going to turn out, Billy.
Yeah, you're going to be
Oh,
anyway. Billy, thank you so much for coming on. Great info, great interview. We wish you all the best. We're going to reach out to you, and we're going to talk to you again soon. Again, my friend.
Yes, sir. It's fourth quarter. It's time to kick some ass, people. Let's take our home back.
You got
right.
it. You got
Thanks,
it. Thanks,
Billy.
Billy. That
Thank
was
you.
really good. Really good. Pretty candid guy.
I love the energy. I love the
Without a
passion.
doubt.
And honestly, it's right. These career politicians, and this is true not only in our state, but also in DC. These career politicians have to go. We need new blood.
Yeah.
We need new faces
No
in there
doubt.
and people that actually care and are going to serve
Yeah.
the public the way they should
Yeah,
instead
guys
of
like
lining
him.
their own pockets
Yeah,
and
guys like
being
him.
self-serving.
Very,
so,
very
yeah,
good.
He'll
Very
be good.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Pick Your Politics. For Stephanie Phillips, I'm Dennis Silvers. Remember, get out and vet your guys like our guest today, Billy Mitchell. See what you like about him or you don't, and get out and vote. And we will see you all back next time. So long, everybody.
See you later.